welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Lami Ali. You can join us online on nca.ng/live. We begin with the coup in Niger. In separate telephone conversations with President Bola Tinubu, United States Vice President Kamala Harris and United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres have expressed strong support for Nigeria's efforts towards the restoration of constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, the government reveals that the two leaders also commended the Nigerian president, who is also the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Governments, for spearheading the peace moves in Niger after some soldiers from the Presidential Guard have moved to depose President Mohamed Bazoum. In her telephone conversation with President Tinubu as the instance of the U.S. authorities, Harris praised the reform initiatives of the federal government, urging the country to continue in that direction. While pledging to support democracy in Africa, Harris also said the U.S. would assist Nigeria in the battle against terrorism. President Tinubu thanked Harris for the call and her words of encouragement on the efforts taken so far on the economy, but added that the developments in Niger Republic dampen spirits. He said ECOWAS under his watch would do all that is necessary to restore democracy in Niger, while counting on the support of the U.S. On Nigeria, President Tinubu craved for more private sector investment, urging the U.S. to lead the way in this regard. Speaking with the UN Secretary General Guterres, President Tinubu said he was doing everything possible to resolve the impasse in Niger, while expressing the hope that the situation in Niger could still be reversed for the better. He said ECOWAS will require UN support for restoring democracy and building institutions in that country. Guterres had earlier pledged the commitment of the UN for Tinubu's peace efforts in Niger. Former President Muhammadu Buhari says he is shocked by the latest turn of events in Niger Republic, Nigeria's neighbor to the north. In a release by Garba Shehu, the former Nigeria's leader indicates that concerns have been raised about the fate of democracy as a system of government in the country and in the wider sub-region, and equally so about the safety of President Mohamed Bazoum and his family. The statement added that it is heartening to note that the ECOWAS under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already dealing effectively with the matter, and our hope and prayers are that the unwanted situation will be completely reversed and the safety and well-being of President Bazoum and his family are ensured. We go to the National Assembly, were preparatory to the screening of ministerial nominees as the Senate, due to commence on Monday, 31st July 2023. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Abdullahi Gumel, has asked the nominees to complete documentation by Sunday. In a statement, Senator Gumel says nominees are to submit required documents to his office located at the National Assembly over the weekend. He added that the purpose is to ensure a hitch-free exercise. President Bola Tinubu this Thursday transmitted to the Senate the list of 28 ministerial nominees for screening and confirmation. Senate is set to commence the screening on Monday. Now, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, says President Tinubu shares the pains of Nigerians in the present economic realities and urged citizens to support governments to deliver the dividends of democracy. The SGF was speaking when he received some members of the House of Representatives who paid him a courtesy visit in company of his wife, Regina Akume, representing Taka, Boko Federal Constituency of Benue State. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Cordial working relationship between the executive and the legislative arms of government is critical to a smooth progression of any democratic government. That is exactly what some members of the House of Representatives have come to demonstrate as they felicitate with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, on his new appointment. They also have areas in their various constituencies needing intervention of his office.
All of us have ecological issues, insecurity issues, and other pressing issues that are of great concern to the Nigerian people. But I know that working together with you will provide solutions.
And I want to personally appeal to you to listen to our requests. And I know who you are. You are a very kind, loving husband that listens to people. You are very compassionate. I know how kind you are. I know you do something about it.
The SGF commended the National Assembly for the prompt approval of the supplementary funds needed to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal as requested by President Tinubu.
I know hardship will certainly come when you remove subsidy, but everybody knows the subsidy had become big and uncontrollable. The pains of today are for a better tomorrow. And palliatives are being put in place to cushion the effect, and you people acted very, very fast.
The SGF also urged the lawmakers not to take for granted the confidence reposed in them by those who elected them into office. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
We go to the health sector. In the wake of the ongoing indefinite strike embarked on by the National Association of Resident Doctors, the federal government has approved the payment of 25,000 naira of peculiar allowance for medical and dental doctors in hospitals, medical centers and clinics in the federal public service. The allowance is to be paid from the overhead budgets. This was disclosed in a statement by the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Salaries and Wages Commission, ECPO NTA. Government also issued circulars on some of the demands of these striking doctors. These are the circular on review of CONMES, which indicates 25% for CONMES 1 to 6 and 35% for CONMES 7. Another circular is on review of CONHES, which shows 25% for CONHES 1 to 14 and 35% for CONHES 15. Also included is the circular on hazard allowance for doctors working outside hospitals. A formidable forum under the aegis of North Central Political Frontiers has commended the federal government's strategic roadmap towards reviving the nation's economy. At a media briefing, the forum says the efforts deployed to activate every sector for optimal performance are promising and result-oriented. It also appreciates federal government for the appointment of an experienced technocrat and seasoned politician as secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume.
Strategic in economy and political landscape, we pledge our unalloyed and unflinching support for the Renew Hope mantra of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR-led administration. As a people of the North Central State, we thank Mr. President for appointing an illustrious son, an elder statesman of inestimable value, character, and influence in party affairs and public service. His Excellency, distinguished Dr. George Akume, CON, as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
North Central stakeholders drummed support for the success of the Tinubu presidency and urged Nigerians to keep faith in his leadership for better days lie ahead. Now, following the resignation of the National Chairman and Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, some chieftains of the party have thrown their weight behind the choice of former Kano Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru for National Chairman and Secretary in that order. The like-minded who are well-groomed to pilot the affairs of the party.
Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, the immediate past governor of Kano State, as the APC national chairman.
We are convinced that with Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the national chairman, the party will regain its status as the All Progressives Congress, where Nigerians shall see the true progress in the management and leadership skills of an ideal governing party.
The like minds said the duo are well groomed to pilot the affairs of the party, considering their political antecedents at the state and national levels.
We are very sure that you will do more than what is expected.
We are not going to relent in our effort that the party must recognize hard work about religionization of our party is false.
Ganduje and Ejibola have been mentioned in various sections of the media as possible replacements for the existing vacant positions at the party's echelon. Medical experts are expressing concerns that hepatitis could kill more people than malaria, tuberculosis and HIV combined by 2040 if current infection rate continues. At a ministerial briefing on 2023 Hepatitis Day, these professionals are calling for quick interventions, such as scaling up testing and treatment for the variants of viral hepatitis, if Nigeria is to drastically reduce hepatitis prevalence rate before 2030. Elizabeth Omorui has the details.
Hepatitis, hepatologists say, is an inflammation of the liver that can cause a range of health problems, can be fatal, and kills over 1 million people annually. The global health burden is commonly spread from mother to child at birth, unsafe sex, and exposure to infected blood. A World Health Organization report on hepatitis revealed that more than 90 million people are living with hepatitis in Africa, affecting approximately 296 million people, including children under the age of 5. To reduce the prevalence, key players in healthcare are upscaling advocacy on the disease.
By supporting research in hepatitis, we can discover better treatment options, improve diagnostics, and ultimately work towards finding a cure for hepatitis B virus.
I would like to urge Nigeria to include services for hepatitis into the minimum service package through which the basic health provision intend to reach the most vulnerable.
They say treatment intervention must be part of integrated primary health care for all ages and funded through domestic sources. Since the disease knows no boundaries, they advocate healthy lifestyle, early testing, screening, and political will of governments to strengthen vaccination surveillance. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, and partners from environments as well as agric ministries are reviewing the state of health security in the country through the strengthening of disease surveillance mechanisms. This is as the second Nigeria Joint External Evaluation, a platform health authorities are using to identify gaps in the nation's health security. Oluseyi Adiagbo brings us the details.
Nigeria has swiftly responded to outbreak of many threatening diseases and is now combating the latest emerging one, which is anthrax. The Joint External Evaluation (JEE) for Nigeria is an essential tool to do a comprehensive assessment of Nigeria's effort in preventing, detecting and responding to health threats as the course of discussion here critically examined the nation's public health security.
This evaluation is valuable as it encourages all stakeholders to prioritize opportunities for enhanced preparedness, response and actions required for IHR implementation in Nigeria.
We want to ensure that even beyond the assessment, that these capacities are put together and they synchronize to ensure that we actually get the results we want.
Our expectation is that given all of the concerted efforts by government through various MDAs, we should get an objective measure that confirms that we are in a better place at the end of this JEE.
Actors are expected to embrace the Joint External Evaluation findings with a spirit of determination to build a stronger, healthier and safer Nigeria. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
Nationwide continues with Adeola in Lagos. Hello, Adeola.
Hello, Lami. One of the functions of a liver is removing toxins from the body. This is a crucial task, and protecting the organ that plays this role should be a priority to everyone. Medical experts are using this year's World Hepatitis Day to remind Nigerians of the importance of ensuring that they always check their liver. Diana Ajale tells us more.
Statistics by the World Health Organization estimates that more than 20 million people are living with hepatitis B, C, or both in Nigeria. Out of this number, about 80% do not know their status.
I haven't done it before. This is my first time. Actually, I've heard about it even before today, and I was so eager to know what it's all about.
This is my first time of trying to do the test. I've not done it before.
As the world commemorates Hepatitis Day with the theme, One Life, One Liver, experts in Nigeria have joined the train to highlight the importance of the liver for a healthy life and the need to scale up viral hepatitis prevention, testing, and treatment to optimize liver health in order to achieve the global target of eliminating hepatitis by 2030.
Hepatitis is still a killer disease. That's the bottom line, and probably even more infectious than HIV/AIDS. A lot of people don't even realize that. It can be transmitted through food and water. It can be transmitted by blood-borne, by exchange of blood fluids and other body fluids.
Medical experts are worried about the increasing number of hepatitis cases and the negative impact that come with the disease. They are vowed to face its health on by creating awareness on the need for people to know their status.
Once a person's status is known, the important thing is to get vaccinated so that they can prevent the occurrence of the disease in the future.
Because most of the time, patients present asymptomatically. That means they may not show any specific symptoms. That's why people live so long with this disease without knowing that they have these viruses until they are tested.
Marked 28th of July annually, World Hepatitis Day raises awareness to resort to the use of canoes.
This is a peg that we did this last year. It still remains that we didn't remove it, so that by the time the level of the water goes up, then we will now put the plank on it.
For residents of Etiosa, which sits in between the lagoon and ocean, this period is what they dread most.
The community that beside the ocean here, they cannot channel the drainage into the ocean. They will not accept it. Rather, we channel it to the river side.
As a way of mitigating effects of flooding in such areas, emergency management bodies are taking enlightenment campaigns to residents.
Like this community, once they've seen that there is a threat of rising water, they can move, the community around this place can move to the upper land, like the upper area.
The population that are prone are in millions. So with that, we move in here to come and carry out advocacy, sensitization, to try to inform them that they must be prepared.
With all these measures in place, NEMA and LASEMA believe impact of this year's flooding will be reduced. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos for now. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Nationwide will continue with Felicia in our Benin Network Center, where Ogochukwuka Ona is standing by after this break. Stay with us.
You're still watching Nationwide, and from the Benin Network Center, we tell you that no fewer than 74 officers and men of the 32 Artillery Brigade headquarters Akure have received training in major Nigerian languages. It is to enhance intelligence gathering and effective communication in the line of duty. The program was organized by the National Institute for Cultural Orientation. Luakemi Aino reports.
The Indigenous Language Program in Barracks is a 6-week course
organized by National Institute for Cultural Orientation, NICO, Southwest Zone, in collaboration with the 32 Artillery Brigade to enable the soldiers communicate efficiently in any state of the Federation they are posted. The director, NICO, Southwest Zone, James Monyose, noted that the program is to prevent extinction and decline in cultural heritage, which is why it encompasses the 3 major languages in Nigeria. The commander, 32 Artillery Brigade Command Akure, Brigadier General Mukhtar Adamu, gave kudos to NICO Southwest Zone for their contribution in enhancing culture for national development.
To assure the institute that knowledge gained by the students will be put into good use.
Aside the Nigerian Indigenous Language Program, the institute also adds to other programs to train cultural officers, motivators, and communicators who will be grounded in Nigerian cultural realities. In Akure, Oluwakemi Aino, NTA News.
The federal government says focus is on reconstruction and rehabilitation of failed portions of federal roads in the country. The Controller of Works, Edo State, Babatunde Hassan, gave this information while reacting to the appeal by motorists and citizens who lament the deplorable state of these roads. Ede Hago has details.
Commuters and other road users have appealed to the federal government to look into the maintenance and, in some cases, complete reconstruction of the Bauchi, Ekpoma, Benin Saple, and Benin Agbo roads. This is because the failed areas of these critical roads have affected the movement of goods and services, as well as ease of doing business.
We do 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So we never come out for a year.
The problem I see here now is the baby vehicle that is following the road.
I don't do this week, 2 weeks now. I never reach where they go. And we are begging federal government to please to do all the federal road for us.
This prompted the visit to the Federal Controller of Works, who revealed that contracts are already in place for the projects.
This section is from the ring road to Olugbo, just very close to Olugbo. So we have another contractor taking it from that to Sapele. We have another, because it has been sectioned into 3. Section 1, Section 2. Because if you give it to one single contractor, it will take longer time. If you pass Benin Aushi Road now, especially the Agbede section that is usually very notorious with this problem, we've been able to, though it's not good enough, but you don't have traffic gridlock again like we used to have in the past.
The Federal Ministry of Works is collaborating with the Edo State Ministry of Roads and Bridges in handling gray areas for the smooth takeoff of the Benin Saple, Wari, and Benin Auchi roads. In Benin, Ede Ago, NTA News.
We now return to Abuja for the rest of the news. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Gochukuka. President Bola Tinubu sends special felicitations to his long-term political associate and trusted ally, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, as he clocks 60. In a statement by the Director Information, Abiodun Oladunjoyi, President Tinubu extols the virtues of the Senate Majority Leader and lawmaker representing Ekiti Central Constituency, who served as Commissioner in the Tinubu administration in Lagos State. The statement adds that Senator Bamidele is one of the closest allies of the President, who has risen to national prominence on the back of his steadfastness, loyalty, commitment to progressive politics, and hard work in the promotion of the welfare of the people. The President joins family, friends, and well-wishers in wishing the celebrants many more years in good health and God's guidance. Worried by the rising crime wave in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, an Emergency Security Council meeting resolved to take decisive measures to crack down on the notorious Malian gangster group and other criminals terrorizing residents within the metropolis and environs. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, who chaired the meeting, directed security agencies to ensure that emerging criminality and other acts of lawlessness within Maiduguri and Jere council areas are swiftly contained. Muhammad Goni has the story.
The Malian group, a criminal gang populated by youth associated with drug abuses, has gained notoriety for engaging in a wide range of criminal activities such as extortion, robbery, drug and substance abuse, and acts of terrorism. Professor Zulum said he summoned the emergency security meeting to address the emerging security threat that is bedeviling the Maiduguri metropolis and parts of Jere local government, with a view to coming up with additional implementable strategies to guarantee the needed peace and security.
General reports before my office from different resources indicated increasing activities of youth that started operating in some parts of the state capital and Nigerian local areas. These syndicates specialize not only in fraud snatching, in broad DNA, robbery, and possession of local-made weapons that have now graduated into killing of innocent lives among themselves, including security operatives.
He assured the citizenry that the state government will not allow the situation to deteriorate, saying he has received assurances from the security operatives of their commitment to deal with such dastardly act. He equally urged citizens to go about their lawful activities as the threat will soon be contained decisively. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Goni, NTA News.
Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps and Nigeria Customs Service are strengthening synergy on vehicle database integration to curb revenue loss and enhance national security. This was the main focus of the meeting between the leadership of both government agencies at the FRSC headquarters in Abuja. Olushia Diagbo has details.
Being the custodians of the road, these two agencies of government are now strategizing to combat insecurity, which has taken its toll on the nation's economy. The Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigerian Customs Service have been working together in the area of human resource development, information and communication technology. This latest engagement is to solidify the collaboration.
The road safety has a mandate of secured road, reducing road accidents. The customs, we want to fight smuggling and ensure that vehicles on which customs duty are not paid do not get registered.
Areas of collaboration is to ensure that vehicles without customs duty are not registered. We will stop that registration. We want also the custom to assist us to ensure that vehicles imported into the country are within the accepted age limit as provided by the custom guidelines or the laws, as the case may be.
The Acting Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, and the Corps Marshal of the FRSC, Dauda Biu, are hopeful for an impactful fight against vehicle smuggling, improved revenue generation. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Digital technology within the civil service, it is believed, will provide a fast route to getting jobs done, share information faster, cost effectively, and allow civil servants to make the most of communication tools, thereby helping to increase efficiency and productivity in service. These were some of the issues pointed out as the public service lecture commemorating the 2013 Civil Service Week. Haman Jabani was there.
There is sufficient evidence that well-designed e-governance projects will progress reforms that target enhanced transparency and accountability, reduce the discretion of civil servants, enhance efficiency, and reduce corruption. This was the focus of the 2023 Public Civil Service Lecture.
And it is the entry point for a whole digital system that we take for granted. Okay, you take for granted, I bet, that, you know, when you now want to do a bank transfer, well, I should be able to do it on my phone. But you may not think enough about what is the system that's behind it.
Your dedication, your professionalism are vital in translating public policy decisions into tangible actions that impact the citizens' lives.
The Federal Civil Service will in turn continue to demonstrate its readiness and enhanced capacity to effectively serve as a dependable ally of this new administration for the delivery of its renewed hope agenda.
With this new plan, all MDAs are expected to achieve full migration by the end of 2025 and also deploy ECM solutions for their workflows. There was a public presentation of the Revised Public Service Rules 2023, which MDAs are directed to commence its use immediately, and inspection of the exhibition of creative works and books of civil servants. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
We move to Zamfara State, where the governor, Dauda Lawal, has honored the 2023 female pilgrim from the state, Hajia Aisha Nguru Nahuchi, who handed over a huge sum she found in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, to Hajj officials. The event held at the Government House, Gusau, was attended by members of the State Council of Chiefs and some top government officials. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
2023 Nigerian female pilgrim Hajia Aisha Muhammad Nguru of Nahucha district in Mungudu local government area of Zamfara state, who returned $8,000 she found in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, has indeed carved a niche for herself, as she has been receiving commendations and accolades from across the country and beyond. Charity, they say, begins at home. This is a gathering of Zamfara state monarchs and top government officials led by Governor Dauda Lawal to specifically show appreciation to the 55-year-old widow for her exceptional display of honesty while in the Holy Land.
What she did brought honor to all of us in Zamfara state, especially we who are traditional rulers.
Governor Lawal, who presented an undisclosed present to the woman, says government and people of Zamfara state cannot thank her enough for doing the state and the country proud.
This event will not end just here. I can assure you that I will do whatever it takes to make sure Hajia Aisha is taken to Abuja, as well as present her to Mr. President.
The Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, who spoke on behalf of the State Council of Chiefs, blessed the female pilgrim and enjoined other people in the state and beyond to emulate her in that direction. Hajia Aisha Nguru and some members of her family, as well as officials of the Zamfara State 2023 Hajj Committee, profoundly thanked the governor for the recognition, which they described as a moral booster. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
It pays to be good. Gombe State government is working out modalities towards finding lasting solutions to the farmers' harder clashes by constituting a special committee for the assessment of grazing forests and game reserves, as well as cattle routes in the state. Abbas Mekan reports that the government also inaugurated 5 visitation panels for all the higher institutions of learning in the state.
Inauguration of Committee for the Assessment of Grazing, Forests, Game Reserves and Cattle Routes is in line with Governor Muhammadu Inuaha's vision of promoting peace for economic advancement.
Once we succeed in doing this, naturally it has to demonstrate to all other states doing the same, so that the whole country, especially the north, where there is prevalence of herders, will have at least a peace of mind, and there will be fairness, equity and justice for each and every one of us.
The committee, under the chairmanship of retired AIG Zubair Muaz, is to determine the number of gazetted game, forests and grazing reserves, as well as the size of such lands encouraged. It is also to identify blocked cattle routes with potentials of causing disharmony between farmers and herders, as well as recommend the way forward.
I want to believe everybody will have a checkbook in terms of the experience of what His Excellency stands for and what he wants to do to the position of the better and greater life.
Also inaugurated are 5 special visitation panels in the State Institution of Higher Learning. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Now, the present administration's dream of making food available for all is fast becoming a reality. This is following a commendable step taken by wife of the Osun State Governor, Titilayo Adeleke, as she empowered women in the state for that reason. Annie Daniels brings us the story.
Following the launch of the Renew Hope initiative by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, where wives of the state governors were admonished to replicate same in their various states. Wife of Osun State Governor Titilola Adeleke has kickstarted the initiative in Osun State by organizing a one-day lecture for women who are into agriculture.
I want to assure you that the government of Osun State, under the stewardship of Senator Nurudeen Adebola Adeleke, in conjunction with the Office of the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, pays premium attention to the well-being and better livelihood of women.
The contribution of women in agriculture are nothing short of remarkable. They serve as backbone of rural communities, playing an integral role in fostering economic growth and social development.
If you don't have land in Osun State, some people are using bag of cement to plant yam, to plant cassava.
The Renew Hope initiative is the brainchild of Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. It is aimed at empowering women and the vulnerable in society. In Osogbo, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Following the outbreak of anthrax in the country, Yobe State government is setting the pace with the flagging off of mass animal vaccination exercise to prevent possible outbreak of the zoonotic disease in the state. To achieve wider coverage, the state intends to procure 1.5 million doses of the anthrax-spores vaccine from the National Veterinary Research Institute from Plateau State. Inusa Suleiman has the report.
It is one of the largest producers of livestock in Nigeria, with available statistics indicating that the state has an estimated of over 7 million livestock. In view of the recent reported outbreak of anthrax in some neighboring countries and Suleja in Nigeria, the state is susceptible to the disease with the potentials of animals to human transmission. The flagging off of the animal vaccination campaign against the anthrax in Kukareta community becomes imperative to protect the state livestock resources, thereby setting the record as the first state in the country to embark on such exercise in large scale.
The government has procured 1,500,000 doses of ASV vaccine to cover the vaccination exercise on the estimated livestock population of about 7 million in all the 17 local government areas of the state.
In line with its policy direction of achieving food sufficiency and security, the state governor, Mai Mala Buni, also launched sales and distribution of neem-based NPK fertilizer to farmers at the rate of 13,000 naira per bag, with a strong warning against diversion and hoarding of the commodity. This agricultural palliative is described as timely, as the rainy season is now stabilizing in the state. In the Matru, Yunusa Slim.
The rains are here and flooding is a challenge in this part of the globe, a development seen as worrisome, especially with increased and rapid urbanization in the country. Jigawa State is among states worst hit across Nigeria and highly vulnerable to potential flooding this year. Let's now join Ibrahim Bello in Dutse to find out the updates on the flood situation and what the government is doing over there to tackle the situation. Like, he's going to tell us the measures that have been put in place to reduce the impact of flooding on the people. Hello, Ibrahim.
Good afternoon. With me here to discuss on this is the chairman of the Flood Mitigation Committee, Hamza Muhammad Hadeja. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, what is the scope of the flood mitigation project by the state government? Is it covering the whole of Jigawa State?
Indeed, the government of Jigawa State, it is doing its best in order to address the effect of flooding. Despite the recent last year flooding, that is which part of the affected and the worst experiencing flooding ever had in the history of Jigawa State. His Excellency, the Executive Governor Malum Umar Enemadi, put it necessary to ensure that all the communities and the areas along the front areas has been addressed to mitigate the effect of flooding in order to provide safety to our good people of the state.
Presently, what location have you so far covered into mitigation of the flood in the state, and what have you done so far?
We have started from the entry point of the state, Iringim local government, that is the upstream part of the state, by looking the critical areas to do an embankment at the communities that are along the prone areas. And indeed, the government of Jigawa State has also embarked on dredging to allow free flow of the water by opening up all the waterways along the downstream to remove the sediment and aquatic weeds that are the causes of blocking the waterways to influence the flooding across the state.
Is there the need for any intervention in the control of flood from either the federal government or donor agencies from where the state government has stopped so far?
Indeed, these are control measures taken by the government of Jigawa State. It is short-term measures. One is the dredging, second is the community embankment by using heavy equipment, and indeed, it is beyond the capacity of the state government alone. There is need for international and even the federal government intervention to state the government of Jigawa State in order to address the effect of flooding in the state.
Thank you, Mr. Hamza. Over to you in Abuja.
Well, thank you so much, Ibrahim, for that update from Jigawa State. You're still watching Nationwide. Time now for a break. Stay tuned as we shall return with more stories. Thank you for staying tuned. We now join Fatima in Makurdi for more reports. It's over to you.
And welcome to Makurdi. Farmers in Benue State can now heave a sigh of relief with a flag off of fertilizer sales and distribution for the 2023 cropping season. Governor Hyacinth Alia, while flagging off the commodity, says 100 trucks of fertilizers have been procured for distribution to the 23 local government areas at a 50% subsidized rate of 12,500 naira per bag, to give farmers easy access to the products to boost productivity. Elias Itiav reports.
May God bless us in this farming season. Amen.
The flag off of the sales and distribution of fertilizer for the 2023 farming season is a demonstration of the Governor Hyacinth Alia's passion and commitment to ensure that farmers get access to farm inputs at affordable rates. Governor Alia, while flagging off the sales, explained that the state government has procured 60,000 bags of the fertilizer, which will be distributed for sale to genuine farmers across the 23 local government areas of the state at a subsidized rate of 12,500 naira per bag.
As our administration progresses, we are confident of fulfilling all the promises that we made on agriculture in our policy blueprint, the Strategic Development Plan for Greater Benue.
Director, Administration and Supply, Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Nat Azu, and Chairman of the 100 Days in Office of Governor Alia's administration, Dr. Moses Ture, said a special task force has been assembled to monitor the sale in all the redemption points in the state. The flag-off ceremony was climaxed with the governor procuring 50 bags of the fertilizer to be distributed to less privileged farmers in the state. In Makurdi, Elias Itiaf, NTN News.
And that's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lami.
Thank you, Fatima. Star Times, known for its digital terrestrial television and satellites,
target is to have 95% of its population digitally literate by 2030 and become one of the world's digital skills hub, especially now that there is a predicted global skills gap. A 2021 World Bank report shows that more than 50% of Nigeria's population do not have digital skills and are therefore unable to utilize digital services, indicating that there are some grounds to cover. To meet up, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has come up with a national digital literacy framework, which will also create an enabling environment for micro, small and medium enterprises to thrive.
By 2030, the way we work will completely change. Microsoft says by 2025, there is going to be more than 190 million new jobs because of IT. So we need to strategically position ourselves to fill these gaps.
What this will do to the economy in the not too distant future cannot be estimated. It's going to really make sure that our GDP doubles.
Achieving digital transformation will take a collective commitment by all stakeholders to massively scale up resources dedicated to the building foundations of the driving digital economy.
The launched framework will serve as a guide to policymakers and educators, as well as service providers in the quest for the nation's digital literacy. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
That report by Chimdema Ndubisi was on the launching of the National Digital Literacy Framework that has just been launched. We apologize for the mix-up. Sports update is next.
In basketball, the defending champions of the FIBA Women's Afro-Basket Championship, Nigeria's D Tigress, began their campaign to win a record 4th title in a row with an impressive victory over Congo at the championship ongoing in Kigali, Rwanda. The Reina Wakama-led Nigerian girls beat Congo DR 69-35 in their first game. Nigeria will now take on Egypt on Sunday.
Football followers have applauded the Super Falcons for their impressive 3-2 victory over the Matildas of Australia in their second group game at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup Thursday. Goals from Uche Nakanu, Osinachi Ohale, and Asisat Oshwala, who became the first African to score in 3 FIFA Women World Cups, gave the Nigerian side the victory. With the win, Nigeria topped Group B with 4 points from 2 matches and a goal difference over Canada in second place, and Australia in third with 3 points, while Ireland, who plays Nigeria on Monday, is bottom with no points.
A great win yesterday for the Super Falcons. I can't remember the last time I had so much joy watching them. It was so exciting.
We've always known that once we have the ball in the feet of our attackers in their area, it's a threat to them.
Meanwhile, still on the Women's World Cup, the Nigerian supporters clubs are soliciting the support of the federal government and well-meaning Nigerians to intervene over what they describe as injustice over their visa denial by Australia, the co-host of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup.
It's just surprising and shocking that Australian embassy took us unaware. We submit application, all necessary documents asked for was submitted.
They should come to our aid and praise us for what we do. We should be celebrated, not humiliated. This is our selfless, willingness service to our country.
In athletics, Team Nigeria to the forthcoming World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary, will be competing in 4 relay events at the showpiece. Team Nigeria achieved this feat after 3 failed attempts by the men's 4x100 meters relay team. However, Asaba Delta State offered the men's relay team the opportunity as they grabbed the ticket Thursday at the Warri Grand Prix. The quartet of Ashe Favor, Ajayi Alaba, Akintola, and Gotin Brume ran 38.26 seconds to secure the ticket. With sports updates, Gifts George, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. We now join Lekon Agbondi for the service of songs of the late General Oladipo Diya. It's over to you, Lekon.
Military politics, incursion into the polity, and he nearly paid the supreme sacrifice, but God in his wisdom decided to spare his life, and he went into return. There were some challenges, and here we are today having a Christian week in his honor. And on a personal note, I was close to him from when he was a major through a shadow friend of mine who was his cousin. And he was my big brother, and we were always together. Through his unity in Ogun State, to God be the glory. And of course, he played his part in Ijebuland. He was the Ashwajo for the Bolu, and he was a fantastic leader. And we can only pray that Almighty God will continue to grant him eternal rest, and that God will, in his wisdom, will comfort all of us that he left behind.
May the soul of General Dia rest in peace. We thank you for staying with us. Remember to join us at 6, 7, and 9 for more stories. I'm Lami Ali.